happening.
We're very much in the blue. Now we're in the red. Rev up the engines. Get them going. And we're green. We are live on Facebook. So let's get this started, people.
Welcome into the Nerd It Up Podcast.
Shut up. Welcome into the Nerd It Up Podcast. I am Josh Beard at Josh Beard Radio. As always, I am joined by Stefen Mazzone at Mazons on Twitter. There's some other weird asshole with us. Oh wait, that's Kerry. Kerry's back. What? No way. He's back. At Kerry Hot Ice on Twitter. He's back with us. Kerry, how was your time away from the show?
It was
Nobody
garbage.
gives a shit. Anyway, you can find us at NerdItUpPod on Twitter. You can find us at Facebook.com/NerdItUpPod. You can find us on, Podbean and YouTube and all that. Right? Anyway, all right. So Kerry, okay, for real though, Steph and I held down the fort. We had some really good shows. We did some really cool stuff. We did some green screen stuff that we can't do anymore. So you're ruining things already, and you just came back. But we are very happy to have you back, obviously, because who else is gonna call me out on my shit? Because Stefan tries to, but I think he's just too nice. And you have this thing where you don't like me, so you don't care about being nice to me.
I don't like you either.
I know, but you're just a nice person.
I was going Star Wars.
So it's good to have you back. How was your time away?
It was garbage, and I'm happy to be back because it really annoyed me having to listen to you and not be able to tell you to just shut the fuck up every once in a while. That
sounds like an amazing time, and we're all happy to hear it. So we got some good stuff for you guys tonight. We got some good stuff for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about, predominantly towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about the Destiny 2 Warmind DLC dropping tomorrow. And what is it? It's changing like immediately tomorrow, right? Is that happening?
What do you mean
like
immediately?
It's like tomorrow morning. Like what time does that update go live?
11 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, no, 11 a.m. Pacific.
11 a.m. Pacific
is when the servers will go up.
Okay,
so
awesome.
That number.
Cool. So 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's super late Central time. That's even later Eastern time. That sucks. But whatever. It's coming out tomorrow, and we're all. I know Steven and I are pretty crazy excited about this. Bungie always finds a way to get us like super sucked in with all the stuff that they do. In reality, we'll probably be done with it in like a week and a half, 2.5 weeks, something like that. Kerry, where do you lie with the Warmind DLC right now?
I literally do not care in the slightest, but because you two are playing it, I went ahead and reinstalled the game.
Good.
That's basically as far as I go.
That's a good move.
Follow, sheep, follow.
Right. Well, also because you know that we will just berate you and pester you and irritate you until you actually finally download it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We're also going to talk about a little bit about Fortnite Season 4. I want Kerry to talk a little bit about his article on the Total Bro. If you go to thetotalbro.com, he has an article right now about predictions for Season 5. I want him to lay out some of that stuff. I know I didn't prep him on doing that, but that's what he is going to do because I'm in charge and he does what I tell him to do. And then to start off, though, we're going to go over some Avengers stuff. I don't think we're going to do many spoilery things, but we'll say spoilers before we do. Maybe I'll let Kerry give some of his thoughts since he didn't get to do the Avengers review last week. But I'll say spoilers before we do that, so don't worry. But Avengers is breaking records, man, and it's the fastest to hit $1 billion in the box office. Correct, Stefan?
Yes.
That's absolutely ridiculous. So you had some numbers. Do you still have those numbers pulled up? Like what Avengers has done in not even a full. Like it's about a week and a half, right? Not even a full 2 weeks of being out. In a week,
yeah, just about.
In a week and a half of it being out, these are the types of numbers that it's pulled. So Stefan, go through those numbers with us real fast.
Right now, worldwide, it's made almost 1.2 billion. Domestic, we're sitting at 453 million, and foreign at 714 million. So those, and I think those numbers just shot up because I believe this week it launched in China. It did not launch worldwide
Right.
on its launch day. Um, right now it is the number one highest weekend, fastest to a billion. But right now, as far as general box office standings compared to its predecessors in the comic book superhero genre, it's sitting at number 5, behind number 1 Black Panther, 2 the original Avengers, 3 The Dark Knight, and 4 Age of Ultron.
That's ridiculous, man. That's like, it's so incredibly successful. And like we talked a little bit about last week, Kerry. Here's what I want to ask you, Kerry. Do you think there is possibly any movie out there that could ever beat this movie, other than the sequel to this one, as of yet unnamed Infinity War sequel? Like, what do you think? Is there any other franchise, any other movie that could beat this?
Like as far as to a billion?
Just
in general?
Opening box office numbers, the records it's gonna break, fastest to a billion. Is there anything that you could see that could beat it?
In the short term, no. Maybe when Disney decides to do another fucking Star Wars trilogy. That's all I can think of. They'll just throw money at something again.
So they're doing a Star Wars they're doing a couple of Star Wars trilogies.
No, I mean like in the next 15 years when they decide to do it again.
I don't think there's enough love for Star Wars anymore. I think they've lost all the love for them to have anything that could be that successful in box office and opening. Like it would have to be they come out with a new trilogy and the first 2 were so good that everybody's like, Star Wars is back, and then everybody goes and sees the third one. Most likely in the vein of Star Wars nowadays, though, it would be disappointing, and then everybody cries and they're like, they roped us in through 2 movies, those bastards.
I feel like Star Wars, the reason the box office numbers were so big with Last Jedi is that, we kind of had that Star Wars drought. And, that's also one of the reasons why I feel like Star Wars does so well even when a new trilogy came out, was that we didn't get a movie every year. We didn't get a movie every other year.
Right, absolutely.
It would be like 10 years between a trilogy. And we now know that's not happening and that we are going to get 1 to 2 Star Wars movies every year. And I think they're losing all that goodwill with the Star Wars fans.
Right.
Yes, of course, it's going to be constantly a big driving factor, and it's never going to pull bad numbers. But I don't know if a Star Wars movie will ever be as fast as Infinity War.
It absolutely can't be, because this is like we said before. This took a decade to build up. Like this has been a really, really long time building, and all of the Marvel movies, other than like Thor: A Dark World, which I had somebody tell me the other day that they actually would put Dark World in like their top 10. And
I would.
You would. Dark World is terrible. It's terrible.
Eat a dick.
No, it's a terrible movie. The first Thor is way better.
If you rewatch Dark World, it's a fairly good movie. I've seen the movie now like 6 or 7 times, and I like it more than Thor 1, to be honest. Dark World,
really?
It feels like a black sheep. I think it got really hated on. Yeah, the story was a little murky, and Melchior, I can't remember his name. I believe that's his name.
It's so memorable. The whole movie is. Right?
He wasn't a great villain, but the set pieces were really good. The CG was really good, and the jokes were on point.
Right. I don't know. Not for me. I didn't like. You know what? It gets better towards the first half of the movie is just so bad I hate it. The second half of the movie is okay. I like that one's okay, but the first half is so bad it ruins the entire movie for me. I'd put it almost probably last place. I think the only one I might put behind that in last place might be. No, I put that one last place. Maybe Age of Ultron. I wasn't a big fan of Age of Ultron, but I don't think I could put that after Dark World. Do we want to do like a mini rankings with some of these movies? Like figure out where we would put some of these Marvel movies, or do you want to save that for another episode? Let's save it for another episode. I can't spring something like that on. We'll do it next week. We're going to rank all the Marvel movies. Bam! Content created before your very eyes, people. Moving on. I was going to do something that has some like spoilery stuff. in it, and there's. Oh, I'm not going to do the second one, but the first one I want to do. So there are some Avengers spoilers for just a split second. So don't watch this for this split second. I mean, keep watching, but mute it for like a couple of minutes, and I'll do.
We'll give you a signal to
I'll do a
unmute.
double thumbs up when we're done.
Yeah.
Spoilers for now. So mute, and then when you see this after right now, when I haven't started the spoilers. So afterwards, when I do that, then you unmute it. Okay, so
I'm just confused.
Last week we talked about, and people were commenting on the show and talking about. I just thought he saw a vision. I never even considered the Soul Stone being a part of anything with Thanos and Gamora at the end, at the end of Infinity War. And Stefen, you talked about how Gamora is. You thought she was inside the Soul Stone, and I didn't even think about that. It makes total sense because reasons. Like everything about it made sense. I don't know why I was so stupid to not think of it before. But it's been confirmed by Joe Russo that she is, in fact, inside the Soul Stone. So that theory, that assumption is 100% confirmed by Joe Russo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Just wanted to point that out. That's
Gotcha.
okay. End of spoilers. Spoilers done. All right. In the same vein I almost said Avengers. In the same vein of Avengers Infinity War, there's a mashup that's coming out with the #1 movie right now and the #1 game. And that would be Fortnite and Avengers are mashing up to have a Thanos mode. And it's coming out tomorrow with Warmind. Too much to play, man. I'm still playing God of War. And then Warmind's coming out tomorrow. And then Fortnite's coming out with a Thanos mode. I definitely want to try that. But essentially, you run around the map and you try to gather the crystals and gather the stones and create the gauntlet. And then you get to turn into Thanos. And I want to play this mode so bad. How hectic is this game mode going to be? Kerry, you start.
I don't think it'll be exactly the same until we actually figure it out. It'll probably take a day or so until people start to go completely batshit with it.
Right.
I don't know how it's going to impact everything, because if you get the gauntlet and you become Thanos, like you literally turn into him.
Yes.
What, don't you just win at that point? How is it?
Not necessarily. I don't think that you necessarily just win. I just think you become way more power. Like you have the way better chance of winning. But I don't
How
think
do
you
they
just
kill you,
automatically
though?
win.
I think the fun part is you're gonna have to have an ability that kills off half all the players, right?
Oh my
instantly.
god, that's the best
Right?
thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah, absolutely. You would have to.
You son of a bitch.
You'd absolutely have to. Oh my god, that's amazing. I can't wait. I want to play it, but I feel like we're gonna jump in. The majority of people that play at Fortnite that want to play this mode are gonna jump in and be like, yeah, I can't wait to become Thanos. And then they're not good enough, and they never actually become Thanos, and so they just waste a lot of their time.
Do we know how you become Thanos? Do you just find the Infinity Gauntlet, or do you have to collect the Infinity Stones?
You have to collect the stones. From what I understand, I'll go to the article real fast. I read
I thought the gauntlet was just hiding in the map somewhere and you had to find it.
But this is what it says. It's called the Infinity Gauntlet Limited Time Matchups, where players will be able to scour the map to try and to collect the Infinity Gauntlet containing all 6 Infinity Stones. You know what? Fuck you guys. Whatever. Yeah. So the gauntlet already has the stones. Then you can become Thanos. Whatever. So apparently the Russo brothers are huge fans of Fortnite, and they were they said, oh, we'd find some time to break away and play it while we were editing. No, you didn't edit because you wanted to play Fortnite. It's fine. Just be honest with yourself. Like, how many times should we be doing things that we don't do because video games, right? Like, I would be a way more successful adult if video games weren't a part of my life. I would be a trillionaire by now. I would own half of the world if I didn't play video games.
That ego is just leaking out a little bit.
Fine, I'd own a quarter of the world. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a very small-minded person. I'm global. I think globally. Thank you very much.
You would own a quarter, maybe.
I would own it all.
25 cents.
If that's why there needs to be a real Infinity Gauntlet, and I need to have it.
So real talk about this game mode, though.
You messed it up.
Go ahead. Go. I'm going to figure stuff out. Both of y'all go. Just you two.
Do you think that...
Go ahead and go. Just go.
Whenever you're ready.
Do each of the gems give you a power? Like, does like the time stone like give you health back, like reverse damage that you take, and like the power stone do like a blast, or does like that you don't really have that abilities and you're just like super health bar, super damage? Like how are they going to go about doing this to kind of like play into this power trip of being Thanos?
I mean, it depends, but I don't know how you would do it with like you give Thanos a fucking, assault rifle and let him run around. You can't do that.
I don't think
he has to have
guns.
These abilities. Like you have to take the buttons and the buttons become something different. Like your reload becomes the soul stone and the B button becomes the power stone.
What if he just punches people? What if you just go around punching like one-shot punching people to death?
Yeah.
That would be the best.
One-shot melee kills.
and here's another fun one. Is Thanos affected by the storm? Like does Thanos like take damage from being out of the circle? Because if he doesn't and he can just travel around the map at will, like that would be terrifying.
That'd be incredible. That would be awesome. Yeah, because think about that. Just traveling to any spot in the map that you want. You see somebody up on a hill and you're like, all right, I'm behind you now. Fuck you, you're dead.
Like you open up the map, place the marker, and you teleport there.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Well,
essentially
like,
setting it up to like say F you to anybody else, they have no chance.
And here's the other thing, like, does Thanos like get like is there like a music cue when he's in your area? Or do you just get like assassinated by Thanos? Like you don't even hear him coming and then your neck just gets snapped.
Oh man, I can't wait for this game mode. I
really want to play it now.
I hope that like from the Thanos perspective, I hope that there's no music. But like, how often are you going to get to be Thanos versus not be Thanos? So like, as the person who most likely will never actually find the gauntlet and be Thanos because I don't get to find cool things in that game, I want some kind of music playing or some kind of like audio cue to let me know that Thanos is behind me or beside me or near.
So what are the dream powers for you guys? Like, let's say you get 3 powers as Thanos, right? What are your dream powers as Thanos?
Kerry, you go first.
Well, obviously, I want the Time Stone to have like Kronos' ability in Smite just reverse back like last 10 seconds or whatever from when you got your ass kicked. And then the Reality Stone. And I could make him think there's like chests and shit, and then they go and get the chests, and then I kill them. And then the Power Stone, just because I want to have just a fucking beam going everywhere and just killing the shit out of people.
Is that how beams sound?
Yeah.
Is that scientific?
They're helicopter beams. That's what they do.
Oh my god.
They're made out of tiny helicopters.
Stefen, you give your 3 powers, then I'll give mine.
I feel like hands down, he didn't do this in the movie, but he's got the ability with the Infinity Gauntlet. Right. Just flying. I just want to be able to fly around the map and be like this imposing aerial figure. Like, here comes Thanos down the ravine. I want the ability to like teleport, but like so not like a quiet teleport.
Right.
Like when I teleport in, I want like a meteor smashing in.
That would be awesome.
So like, let's say someone's at like the Dusty Divot, and you just come crashing down, and everyone sees that you're there. The reverse time get healing back would be kind of cool. I would like if it was like a kind of like a team up mode to be able to change players to your side.
Yeah.
So like you make players into your army.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Or
oh god,
if you get the gauntlet, everyone else is on one team.
Oh,
well,
and they have to kill you. That's what I would
assume. That's what I would assume would happen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We'll say that shit next time.
I guess that makes sense. Like, that's the only way you could really have it happen, right?
I don't guess.
I mean, it'd be kind of lame if like one person could just take down Thanos.
Yeah. And then you have to try to fight other people. Bullshit. I wouldn't want that. So, so here's the powers that I would want. I would want the teleportation, but I just want like an actual, maybe not I don't care about it being loud, but I want to be able. I want that big portal to open up so people have like a second or a chance to like react and just be scared shitless when a portal opens up on top of them or behind them. I want the beam like Kerry. Kerry, do the laser beam for me. That's what I do. It longer. It's not like some short. I'm gonna blast that thing longer. Go. No, that's not your laser beam. Do your laser beam and do it longer. Son of a bitch.
You're broken.
Coming back.
I can't do it anymore.
Coming back and you're already ruining things. I want the laser beam. I want teleportation, and then I don't want to fly. I just want like a super jump. I want to be able to do like a super jump slam and smush people.
Like super hop rocks.
And then I want my, what is it, the orange crazy? What's the orange dance? The one that was
Orange
in the
Justice.
Orange Justice. Yeah, I want to fly and smash people and do the Orange Justice dance on top of their corpse with Thanos.
Actually,
that's really all I care about is just doing the orange, like just dancing with Thanos.
I was gonna say I hope all dances are available, because like doing things like take the L as Thanos would be just fantastic.
Right, absolutely.
I want to see him doing the boneless.
I want Thanos with a portafort, and I want to just be Thanos standing on top of a portafort and throwing portaforts everywhere. That's what they need to do. Is they need to give Thanos unending portaforts, and so he could just throw portaforts all like just constantly.
And one of the things I really hope is that when you pick up the Infinity Gauntlet, it's not like you pick it up and become Thanos.
Yeah.
I want to be able to like engage someone in a fight and then just throw on the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
And just them going like, oh shit.
Oh god, it's
fucked up.
Thanos. Oh, I would love that so much. That'd be so perfect. All right, so we're moving on. Thanos mode drops tomorrow, as well as the Warmind DLC, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. Kerry, I want to pull up. Actually, I didn't pull it up before, so I'll do it right now. I want you to talk about your Season 5 stuff for Fortnite, because Kerry did an article on our blog, thetotalbro.com. Go to thetotalbro.com. You can check out lots of cool stuff that may or may not be slightly outdated because we haven't been writing on it. It's fine. It's okay, guys. Don't worry. But he did one called Way Too Early Fortnite Season 5 Predictions and a few insane ones. Talk about the predictions that you came up with. And if you're watching the show right now on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, come up with your own like your own crazy ideas for what they could do in Season 5. Anyway, Kerry, go.
So full disclosure, most of it revolves around the 50v50 mode because that's kind of what I enjoy the most about the game. So my hope, this is more Season 4. I'm hoping that they do the 50v50 where it starts you start off at the hero base at the mansion and the villain base at the missile silo, and y'all have to meet up at the beginning and kill each other. That I think is probably coming pretty fast. A lot of the theories going around are that the big missile is going to destroy part of the map. I feel like that's a little lazy on their part, considering they just had the meteors destroy a lot of parts of the map.
That'd be really lazy, but I could see it happening.
Some people are saying that is going to be the kind of the catalyst for aliens in the game, because the villains are going to send the rocket into space instead of bringing it back down to Earth. I wrote in that article that the way I hope they do it is it doesn't have an explosive payload in the missile. It's more of like a chemical biological attack that will introduce the storm zombies into the map somehow, or will change the landscape into like a more of an apocalyptic wasteland kind of thing. Because I'm assuming that this game is going to be going for a while, so they got to keep it, just keep going and going and going until they can't anymore. So I think that would be a fun way to do it.
Is there they can't anymore? Like, at what point do they run out of ideas? Like,
that was one of my theories. Is like, maybe they use the missile.
Okay, time out. Peeling back the curtain. That's called a setup, Kerry. You don't have to point out that was like one thing that you had. I'm leading you into that. I know it's been a while since you've done the show, but quit being an idiot.
So if
just
you want to
go
know
with it.
what we're talking about, you can read my article instead and not listen to Josh and I this entire time. That's up to you.
No, that's why I want to talk about it. Go to thetotalbro.com and read Kerry's article, his predictions for his way too early predictions for Fortnite. All right, just finish up. Just go. Ruining my show.
So this ties into one of the other clues that was on the map. The big giant dinosaur / monster footprint.
Right.
I've only found it in one spot. I don't know if there's anything else anywhere. I tried looking for it, but no one seems to find anything. It could be just a prop for one of the movie sets around. I think it's more of a clue to season 6, in that the missile actually does destroy everything, and it actually kind of resets the game and makes everything like not necessarily Stone Age, but it introduces, monsters or creatures like that. Although I was hoping that the way they do it, the creature was actually created by the villains, and the villains have the missile silo because that's their only defense against the creature they made. And so now I'm hoping for a 50v50 mode where the villains have to defend their mountain fortress from the heroes who tried to get the missile to kill the monster.
Oh. The most
That was painful.
boring
Look,
thing. It was the most boring segment we've ever had on the show, and I talk a lot.
I make a lot
God,
more sense in written form than I do in spoken word.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
I apologize.
One show back, I fell asleep halfway through that.
But I want alien tech. Bring the missile. Bring the rocket ship for alien.
I don't want the aliens. I don't want alien tech. To me, that would be too much. Stefen, what do you think? What are your predictions for season 5? What do you want to see moving forward? Like, I'm doing the superheroes. What do you want to see Fortnite do? Which I know you're not like the biggest Fortnite fan right now. Like, the Fortnite fatigue set in for you like way earlier than everybody else. Like, what would you like to see them do?
More maps.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all I
that's
want.
the whole thing.
There could be a space map.
Sure, but I don't want a changing map. I just want different maps.
Different maps, yeah. I
That's
think
it.
that would be better. Do you think that could end up being Fortnite's downfall while PUBG continues to make more maps and continues to optimize? Fortnite's downfall could be that they just constantly keep changing one map, so they're changing it up, but there's nothing to go back to and enjoy.
Right, and I think that can be an issue because variety is the spice of life. But at the end of the day, when you're just like shaving the dog in like different patterns, it's still the same goddamn dog, And I'm not a dog person, so there's that. I don't know where I'm going with that.
What the hell is
That's
happening?
the weirdest analogy
Yeah,
I've
why
ever
would
heard.
I don't know.
What's happening on the show tonight? We're moving on. Fortnite, Season 5, way too early predictions. Go to thetotalbro.com. Kerry has a great article up there. Very well written, very well thought out. Way better than what he just
Not
said
like here.
live. Yeah, that was painful. Not really. I'm just giving you a hard time.
That was abysmal.
It wasn't that bad. Moving on to Destiny 2. The Destiny 2 Warmind DLC drops tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. Bam!
What's with the accent? Like, why did we just suddenly go all redneck?
I don't know. Anyway, Warmind DLC dropping tomorrow. Just deal with it, man.
Destiny.
Deal with it. The rednecks like Destiny, man. That's our crowd. That's the crowd we got to cater to. Is the redneck Destiny crowd. Warmind DLC dropping tomorrow. I was really, really lukewarm on it whenever I first heard about it, and then I was like, maybe it'll be interesting. I'm gonna play it because I freaking bought everything under the sun, the collector's edition, and I already have the DLC, so why not? But now I'm actually really, really excited about it, and I cannot wait to play it. Stefen, you're excited about it. Kerry is not as excited about it, but he's being bullied into playing it and already downloaded it because he knew we would force him into it anyway, so he's getting ahead of the curve. Stefen, why are you so excited for the Warmind DLC? Why do you have like the anxious energy that you have wanting to play this so much?
Well, at the end of the day, I will probably always love Destiny, no matter how many downfalls it has.
That's very
and
many. But at its core, it's so good.
Yeah, at the core, it's a very good game, and I want the game to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the announcements, like the quality of life changes and little bits that we've gotten out of Warmind so far, sound fantastic.
Right.
Exotic weapons now might actually feel powerful enough to use and not kind of be like, whatever. Some of these purples are better. Some of the exotic catalysts to make them into masterworks sounds like a grind that I welcome. It's something to do in the game. Yeah, it sounds like a good grind. A good grind. It's a good grind.
Great. Hold on. I just want to, and before you continue, I need to address something. Randy, you know, usually your hateful, vitriolic banter towards me I take as just like a loving brother-sister relationship because of that one time I told you fuck you when we were talking about Game of Thrones. But you're being super mean tonight.
And it's kind of great.
I'm gonna have like there's song lyrics. Josh is lame. Josh is awfully lame. Awfully is very, very unnecessarily drawn out.
God.
Then she said, speaking of Fortnite, if they took any ideas from Josh, that's how things end.
She called me Snot Ice.
Yeah, she told me, she said to put me on mute, and then she called me a liar. You're being super mean tonight.
It's kind of great, actually.
It's not
so
great,
mean
Stefen.
Right
it's only great to you because you're the only person she hasn't been mean to. Because Stefen's so cuddly and he has a beard. Fuck that.
Thought
Sure.
we were cool, Randy.
I'm
Thought
cuddly
we were
too.
cool.
Anyway, Randy, we love you. But if you ever hope to come on this show, you need to be nicer to me.
Be nice.
Be mean to Kerry all you want, but be nicer
We
to
have
me.
fragile egos.
I have a very fragile ego. She said yet. Oh shit. She's gonna get Stefen. I can't wait for that. All right. No, keep being mean, Randy, as long as Stefen's included. All right, Stefen, go ahead. Warmind DLC. I'm very, very much definitely looking forward to the grind, though.
Some of the difficulty changes where, you know, your you're going to feel more powerful against the weaker enemies, which is great. You know, the Destiny's has always had the problem where even the low enemies can feel like they screw you over.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Destiny at the end of the day, you kind of want it to be a power trip. You want to be like this powerful space wizard or space knight or space jackass if you're a hunter. You want to feel powerful, and I feel like that's what these changes are going to do. And that's really what Destiny 2 at its first inception was really lacking. That kind of like power fantasy at the end of it.
Right. So I have a comment on YouTube from Lakota Paul. I don't know what this is in reference to, but it says almost matching Josh's ego. And I don't know what that means. But my ego's not that bad.
I need a timestamp to what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I need to know.
What is that in reference to, Lakota Paul on YouTube? By the way, you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. We're broadcasting on Phantom, Facebook's only live sports network, on Facebook, and we're just broadcasting to our Nerded Up. Search for Nerded Up on YouTube and find it there. I don't know what the URL is. Sorry, sucks for you. Also for us, if you can't find us, whatever. But you can find us on that and watch us on there. Anyway, I just like you said before, I'm always going to be a fan of Destiny. I'm always going to be a fan of the game because the core of the game is so good. The meat and potatoes of what Destiny is as a shooter is just so well done. It's so well optimized. The gunplay is so great. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's the same shit we always say. But, like, I'm so excited, but I still think at the end of the day, I'm going to be incredibly let down with this. Like, I'm really excited, but I'm also waiting for my heart to be broken because that's just what Bungie's done to us with Destiny. And I'm in you got to prove it mode. You got to prove it to me, Bungie. Prove you give a shit. I thought they did that with the Taken King in Destiny 1, and I thought things would be different after that, and they weren't. But they got to prove it to me at this point. Kerry, go ahead.
But what? See, to me, because the core gameplay is so good, it pisses me off even more that I can't play it and actually have enjoyment out of it. That's why, because I played it, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour yesterday, and it felt so fucking fantastic. There's no other shooter right now that comes close to the controls and the gameplay.
Not even.
And it pisses me off so much that I don't have more to do in that game.
Right.
That I can play it for a week and be done with absolutely everything I want to do. I want more shit to do because it's so fun to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it is an incredibly fun game to play. It's the game, like, when we're all playing it, we have a blast. It's the one game we can literally sit and play, assuming we don't do any any of the competitive multiplayer stuff. It's the one game that we can sit down and play for hours and just have so much fun with, even if we're getting frustrated during raids. When we do strikes, we do other stuff, mess around. We can sit with our group of friends and just have so much fun with it. And that's why it's so disappointing that at some point that stops, and it doesn't give us a reason to come back and keep doing that stuff. And that's what I want them to fix with this Warmind DLC. So let's run through some of the things that they're adding. I've got this article pulled up from Polygon. It's their article, 10 Things Warmind is Adding to Destiny 2 by Ryan Gilliam. So let's run through some of these things and see, like, do we care about this? Can this really change it? Does this matter at all? And figure out if we think this is legitimately going to be something that can make Destiny 2 better for more than just a 2-week period, like the short term, but like the longer short term. So number one, new campaign. There's a new campaign. There's a new story mode. The Warminds and Siva and Machines and Frost Hive. Like, how much confidence do we have that the new campaign, while almost any addition in Destiny 2, the campaign in Destiny 2 and the addition in the Osiris story, like, was cool. The main campaign for Destiny 2 is cool, but the problem is, once again, it's longevity. So what can we expect from the new campaign? Is it going to be something that's going to keep us engaged? Stefen, go.
From a lore standpoint, it's kind of awesome. We're seeing the return of Anna Bray, one of the Bray family from the famous Clovis Bray, who made the Exos, made Rasputin, made all this Golden Age tech. And she's kind of put herself into self-exile, trying to find more about her family. And she's now come to Mars at pretty much the request of Rasputin. We're reintroducing Rasputin from Destiny 1, and he now feels like he is under attack by something so powerful that he needs help. He needs the Guardians back in it. And what he's being attacked by, minor spoiler, is a hive god and a worm god at the same time. Jesus. It is Nokris, one of the sons of Oryx, that Oryx actually disowned, and Zol, the worm god, which the worm gods are also known as the wish dragons. They're giant, massive dragons that grant wishes. One of the most famous ones are giving eternal life to the hive.
I want a wish dragon.
And we fight said wish dragon.
Sweet.
It is confirmed that he is a boss. We also know that Nokris is listed as an NPC. So I don't know if we actually fight Nokris as much as maybe we have a friendly hive now. A hive member that, like, sees the error of the hive and is with us to fight Zol. And kind of break the chain that the hive has. You know, the hive is such a ubiquitous thing in Destiny. They really didn't have much place in Destiny 2. But all their stuff has pretty much always been good, storyline-wise. So I'm super excited to see where this campaign goes. Osiris was kind of a letdown. There wasn't much that we got. And the mucking around in the Infinite Forest was kind of boring. Right. But I'm ready to go back to Mars and see this, like, frozen polar ice cap on Mars.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm in wait to see it mode. I'm pretty neutral on the campaign, but it definitely does sound interesting. Kerry, what about you? Do you think the campaign's gonna hold us, or do you think it's gonna disappoint?
It's just another thing that pisses me off about the game, is because when Stefen's talking about it, I'm like, oh, that sounds. Oh, tell me more.
Awesome.
Who is this god?
Right.
Nokris? Oh my god, I remember hearing about him. And then the game is just like, hey, I need you to go over here, blow this thing up. Oh my god, you killed him, game over. And that's it. That's all you fucking do. There's nothing there. It's not in the game. It's nowhere. You can't find it. You have to go to the goddamn forums or someone like Stefen every fucking time to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, well, and You know what? No, I feel like Destiny 2 for the most part has done a pretty good job of telling us like what things are and why. I didn't feel like Osiris was that bad. Did you feel like they told us they didn't tell us enough, Stefen?
I feel like Destiny 2 storytelling is better than Destiny 1.
Definitely.
However, it's been lacking depth. They've been pretty forthcoming in the details of what's going on, but it doesn't have the depth that Destiny 1 had. And I feel like that was them trying to just kind of rein in some of their story and get like a little bit more control of where things are going. And sort of kind of playing a realistic standpoint where, like, as a guardian, you're not supposed to know all this.
Right, absolutely.
You know, you're not supposed to know, like, the ancient million-year-old history of the Hive.
Right.
But we want to, as players. That's the thing.
Yeah, we want to know all of the stories.
So like, as long as they can be more forthcoming in it, it's fine. But I think their storytelling is better.
It definitely is better. But that's the thing. That's what people want from games nowadays. I know. Before we've talked to people that are like, "Oh, I don't give a shit about the story. Just let me shoot stuff." But they're not playing the game now either because you know what? It didn't have enough of story. It didn't have enough to keep you there. You can still go on and shoot stuff for no reasons. And why are you still? If you didn't need a story, why aren't you still playing the game? Because you could still go shoot stuff for no reasons. But they've done a better job. But that's what I'm looking for, something to keep us. All right, thing number 2 that they're adding: new weapons and armor. Stefen, you talked about this last week, where you're hoping they're going to add new armor and they're going to add new exotics that are more than just like redos and recolors. Do you think that there will be enough new armor and weapons to interest us?
So, I mean, as far as new exotics go, we only know of one so far, and it's a sniper rifle that's, you know, guaranteed to be there. I'm not expecting no more than maybe 2-3 exotic guns, 2-3 pieces of exotic armor per class. You know, that I can't expect too much from, you know, $15 expansion? Is that what these are? Are they $20?
$15,
I get
bucks,
I got them at the discount because I buy the season pass. I fall for that already. So I'm not expecting too much there. I am expecting updated graphics on like the regular legendary armor. Yeah, I don't want any more reskins. No one wants more reskins. Give us some cool looking stuff. Yeah. Give us some frozen armor. You know, put some icicles on shit. Give us some more Seavified armor from the end of Destiny 1. Maybe even give us more Hive. With this being both a what's Rasputin called again? A Warmind.
The Warmind.
A Warmind. Yeah. Who knew? A Warmind base expansion and a Hive base expansion. Let's get a mix of both.
Yeah.
Like let's integrate the tech into that kind of gross Hive aesthetic. You know, that'd be just awesome.
I would love that. Just like the frozen hive, the frozen hive look. The Hosen hive.
The Hivey Hosen.
The frozen hive look would be freaking cool. Kerry, new weapons and armor. So, I know you like shooty bang bang things. How you feel about them?
But armor I don't really care about. As long as I have the stats, I give a shit how it looks, to be perfectly honest, because I never see my character apart from the fucking hub.
I know, right?
Weapons, yes. That's my favorite part, because my shooty bang bangs are the ones I want.
Right.
But I think is it interesting that it's always a Hive-based expansion that ends up pulling a lot of people back in? I don't think that's coincidence.
No.
It's because they have the best story.
Right.
Just hands down.
Yeah, they're the most interesting, and they're usually the most involved.
Yes.
All right, so new Crucible maps. Moving on from that, don't give a shit. Escalation Protocol, new game mode. It's a co-op game mode, and it's supposed to be like the Court of Oryx and Archon Forge. How do we feel about Escalation Protocol? Like or no like? I'm intrigued, at least a little bit.
I'd have to get my hands on it.
I think this will suffer from what both Court of Oryx and the Archon's Forge did, where after like a month or two after release, it becomes near impossible to do these things because everyone who has the stuff already has it and they just don't want to go back to it.
Right.
There'll probably be a bit of a learning curve where like the first week or so it's incredibly hard to do these things. Mm-hmm. But then after that, everyone knows what they're doing. They go in, master it, get their loot, and get out. It is great that they're doing like Court of Oryx style with rotating bosses for every week. So it kind of gives us that little IV drip of loot. But at the end of the day, it's another firefight mode. It's another horde mode. It'll be fun while the loot's there. After that,
it'll kind of die off.
Hopefully, we move on to new content after that.
A new old planet to explore. We'll move on from that because I think Stefen already said he's excited about it. Kerry probably doesn't give a crap. I think it looks pretty interesting. It'll be cool. New and improved exotic that goes in with blah blah blah. A new raid lair. Ooh, the Spire of Stars. How do you feel about a new raid? It goes live on May 11th.
Who knows what the hell it's about?
Nobody knows. It's
right.
Nobody knows. There's a smaller version. There's a bigger version with a big final boss, but nobody knows what it's about. So it's hard to get excited about a raid we know nothing about, right?
Well, I think that's part of the great thing about this expansion is that there's sort of very little information about it.
Yeah.
And I think that was purposeful. It just sort of gets you going, what is there to see? And that's also twofold. It might also be kind of shallow because there's not enough. They might be trying to hold back details because there's just not a whole lot of details to give.
Right.
But I'm hoping we're going back to old school Destiny, where in Destiny 1, we didn't tell you half the things because they were secret till you found out about them.
Right, exactly.
So that's what I'm really hoping.
Yeah, and so I'm showing some of the gameplay. Oh no, I can't show that. I'm showing some of the gameplay from some Warmind gameplay from Inside Terminus real fast while we finish up talking about the Warmind DLC dropping tomorrow for Destiny 2. By the way, we're broadcasting on Phantom, Facebook's only live sports network. We are the Nerded Up. No, we're just Nerded Up. We're not the Nerded Up podcast anymore, guys. We're just straight up Nerded Up, and we also happen to have a podcast recorded for it. But we're more than that now, man. We're a show, damn it. All right, so some gameplay is playing while we talk about it. So final thoughts on Destiny 2, the Warmind DLC. Are we going to be playing it all day tomorrow? And by all day, I mean after 1 p.m. Central Time when it actually releases. And how do you think we're legitimately going to feel about this game? We'll do a week after review next week during in next week's show Monday night at 9 o'clock. How are we going to feel next Monday at 9 o'clock after playing it for a week? And also, how are we going to feel about it 3 weeks from now? Go. Kerry, you go first.
I don't know the answer to any of those things.
You should.
Well, I know the answer to the first one because I'm probably going to play a Fortnite for the most part instead of Destiny.
Gonna fall behind.
Yeah, you're gonna fall behind, and then you're gonna get mad, and then you're gonna be like,
"Look,
but I'm so behind."
Just tell me. Look, Stefen's gonna leave both of us in the dirt regardless. So I'll do my thing. You guys can do your thing, and then occasionally we can be on together. Okay.
Okay, so how do you think you're going to feel about it a week from tomorrow, and how do you think you're going to feel about it 3 weeks from tomorrow?
I think a week from tomorrow will probably be still in that new, ooh, it's shiny, let's do the raid now kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then 3 weeks from that, we'll be like, we'll not have played it for about 2 weeks, I imagine.
Do you guys want to play Smite now or Fortnite?
Yeah.
Okay.
As usual.
Stefen, same question.
I would probably say tomorrow I'm going to be super duper hyped about the story. I'm already been super excited about it, and I'm just going to chew my way through that, kind of ignoring everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. A week after, I'll probably be semi-frustrated with trying to get raids together and having raids fail. That's just the nature of the beast with this.
Oh, come on, guy.
And 3 weeks from now, it's gonna be split one way or the other. I'm gonna be really bored after completing pretty much everything, or I'm gonna be really driven to get the few items that I can't get yet. It's really depending on how they break things down and how some of these new items look, these catalysts for these masterworks. I already know some of the things, like I'm going to start rocking hard light as soon as the expansion drops because of these changes.
Right.
So, once we find out more, I'm gonna go after those items, and as long as there's content to carry me those few weeks, I'm gonna really enjoy it. The downside is, just finding out about everything.
Yeah.
I kind of want that new game smell all over again, and
Gross.
I know I'm not gonna get it for long
Like, wait, how a new game smells, or how you smell after a binging a new game?
Mix of both.
Ugh.
It's kind of just a natural thing that happens.
Gross.
No, going more along the lines of like Destiny 1 was kind of famous for some of its secret guns and secret missions that you can do. Things like the Outbreak Prime or the man, I just forgot it. The
Black
heavy
Spindle.
The Black
Spindle, the heavy laser gun of death.
Yeah. Oh, dang it, what's the name?
I just forgot about it.
Prometheus lens?
The Siva
never
gun.
mind.
Yeah, I can't remember.
The lasers,
I don't
everything.
fucking know.
The pew! That's way better than Kerry's laser. Kerry, do your laser real fast. Sounds like an old moped, not a laser cannon.
I'm hoping we get some secret guns again. That's all I'm saying.
I hope so too. One last question before I give you mine. How much longevity do you think this DLC will have? If you just your gut, like a gut instinct, don't use logic, don't use anything, whether we know about it or not. Your gut instinct. What does it tell you?
The hardcore player will have a month, because that's probably about how long it'll take them to run everything in Escalation Protocol, plus getting through the raid, everything like that, hitting max cap in like about 2 to 3 weeks. The longevity for the casual player, probably 2 months. I think there's enough content to keep them occupied as long as it's content that they'd like to see.
Isn't that bad for a game like this, though? Like, that's not long enough, right?
I think it's long enough for DLC. I think the issue is the base game just doesn't have that much draw.
And you can't save it in one singular DLC. That's fair. I think I'll be playing it tomorrow. I'll definitely I'll hop on and probably play it, and Stefen's already going to be on it and playing it, and I'm going to be like, dude, how'd you already get so far ahead? It only started like 22 minutes ago. How are you already done with the new campaign? He's going to be like, I started early, man. I don't know how. I broke the code. And that's what's going to happen tomorrow, and because that's what he does. And then a week from now, I think I'm going to be like, I'm still trying to fight to keep up with Stefen, but I'm going to do everything he does because if I can't be first, at least I can be second amongst I say the 4 of us. I'm not going to be second amongst all of the people we play Destiny with, but at least second amongst the 3 of us, and then including our friend Mackie, who he's been watching the show. For the first time ever, by the way, we've only been doing this show for over a year, and he hasn't watched a single damn episode of it until tonight. So Mackie, he's one of the 4 of the primary people that we play with. So at least I'll be number 2. I'll be ahead of Mackie and Kerry. But then 3 weeks from now, Stefen's going to be going hardcore into Escalation Protocol. This is just my gut instinct. Stefen's going to be going into hardcore into Escalation Protocol, and then he's going to be mad because Kerry and I are going to be playing Fortnite together while he's like doing stuff in Destiny. Much like his very strong chagrin against me for not playing Monster Hunter. So, it's going to be another Monster Hunter situation on our hands. Anyway, all right, that's all we got. Warmind DLC dropping tomorrow. The Thanos mode in Fortnite is dropping tomorrow. Lots of good video game stuff to play. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook and YouTube, everybody. We are Nerded Up. I am Josh Beard at Josh Beard Radio on Twitter. He is Stefen Mazzone at Mazons on Twitter. And he's back. The man, the myth, the legend, Mackie has been watching us all episode. Thank you so much for watching us, Mackie. Oh, yeah, Kerry was back, too. At Kerry Hot Ice on Twitter. That guy, he's back. Actually, I'm just kidding. Kerry's back with us, and I'm excited to have him back. It was good. But the one time we let him talk too much, I fell asleep. So we probably won't have him back on again. So thank you so much for watching us on Fans of Facebook's only live sports network. And not tomorrow at 9. Next Monday night at 9 o'clock, we are going to have our Warmind a week later review and talk about our feelings about it and how happy we are that we're playing it. And then 3 weeks from now, we're going to do our 3-week review, and Stefen's going to talk about how much he likes it 3 weeks later. And then Kerry and I just aren't going to be on that episode. So tune in for those shows. Thank you so much for watching us, everybody, and we will catch you later. Goodbye. No, Kerry, we can't go off. There's one thing that you have to do. It's been 3 months. Finger guns, dude. Thank you, Jesus Christ.